good evening, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this, and welcome to what is this, episode 5, Oaks?
Yes, sir.
Episode
Oh,
5 of episode 5 of Debates Never Die. We obviously got the back-to-back UCL review. Those are like bonuses that we'll do for like a more concise analysis, but this is the wider scope of football we'll be discussing here today. I am your host for this episode, Malcom. Please apply context, Masvikwa. And I am joined by a few of my homies, my closest friends. Up first, we have the man who has more faith in the players he co-signs than Harry Redknapp himself, FM manager, Hall of Fame, Khanya Mosetlhi. How's it going, my guy?
It is great to be back. It's great to be back. Speaking of FM players, Yusuf Makoko scored this weekend for Dortmund. The FM co-side is greater than anyone's eye test. I promise you that much.
I won't lie, bro. It's got that Simpsons predictability. It's insane. In addition to Khanya, we have got the prophets, T-Boy. How's it going, my guy?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm back. Feeling good.
How was your tour of Europe, bro?
Yeah, it was good. I didn't get racially abused in Italy, which was good. First thing. But yeah, it was a good vibe. I was in Napoli.
Okay, no, beautiful.
Stuff.
Glad to have you back. I'm sure you were scouting a few players there whilst you were away. We're also joined by the man who made every welcome to Old Trafford video from 2014 to 2018, Lebone Lehlokoe.
Oh wow!
How are you? How are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I don't know about that rep, but shout out my nigga. And see them play, unfortunately, but I'm keen to see them play against City. It's gonna be interesting, but yeah, good to be back.
Oh no, yeah, for real. The Reds are truly marching on, and you are the most devout Man United fan. I want it to be known. No one has rode for these guys the way you have. And finally, we are joined by the man who can speak 4 languages: English, Shona, Spanish, and Portuguese. Perez's lost son, Rindai Gandure. How's it going, my guy?
No, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Can't complain, Reggie.
Your fucking guys are on fire, bro. I know you're excited, dude. I know you're singing around the house. It's painful, truly painful to see. Anyway, boys, we're gonna start off with a weekend review. Just highlights the biggest takeaways from the weekend. We can get started with Khanya. What for you from the games that you saw were the standout moments or features of the games?
So I can't not speak about Arsenal. Lads, I'm glad we're doing this that we're recording this episode, because Arsenal doing sabotage. I don't know if you guys are ready to accept that yet, but I've seen enough, and I'm really excited about what's to come.
Is it anything in particular, or was it just the whole performance?
I think just the way we've started the season, the United results, childish, very childish, but I look at this team and on paper I look at everybody else as well. I'm like, it's just us in City at this point. Everyone else is in disarray.
Okay.
The team that finished third last season sacked their coach. We know that they're gonna go through their own shit. Liverpool don't look like a professional football club right now. If Thiago gets injured, Everton are giving those guys run for their money. We've seen that much.
Yeah.
I look at United. They held 4 at Brentford. The team who just beat 3-0. Probably broke a sweat.
I think that's a hard. Never mind. You can't really use Brentford as an example.
I look around. I'm saying, who else is doing it like this?
No,
We've played all the games. I look around. We're top.
Can I tell you, Khanya? I like that you're taking this stance, because we call this podcast Debates Never Dies, but it might as well be called Friends, because niggas are just holding hands and agreeing. I like that there's a definitive stance. So Khanya is saying, fuck all you guys. It's Arsenal and City at this point in time.
Yeah, you guys are dead. And the best part is after the international break, Arsenal play City and Liverpool. Sorry, no, that's Liverpool and Spurs. And they're both the Emirates, and we'll win both those games. And afterwards, you guys have to look around with your dicks in your hands and say, "Holy fucking shit, this is actually happening!" And I want you to hold this reaction, this one you have right now, the anger, all that shit. Hold it in, and just hold it.
You're killing me.
I want to keep you warm at night. As at the end of this season, I'm gonna tattoo a little cannon above my heart. Arsenal about to win the league, lads.
I want our listeners. I want our listeners to tag this video.
Please do.
This podcast and come back to it when those results come.
Do.
And I want us to even start that episode
with this clip.
With this very clip. Because wow. You
Khanya came guns blazing, and I love that's the energy we need in this episode. We need war when this friendly UN shit. It's enough. Anyways, Bones, on the back of that, what was the biggest takeaway for you from this weekend?
You know what? I'm irritated because I was going to say that looking at the performances and then even looking at the stat sheet, if you don't look at who the teams are, City and Liverpool played identical games in some ways, and I was like, okay, that is interesting, and seeing how they've kind of bounced back from the United L, it does say that they've got.
Sorry, bro, we lost connection there.
So
could you? Sorry, Bones. I just lost you for a second. You said it shows that they've got proper what?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I was saying that, they looked very similar, and to be honest, they are the top two at the moment, because you look at the Tottenham results, and I think the scoreline flooded Tottenham just because Son went off at the end there. But I regress because United didn't play, and because United didn't play, I don't feel like the real team to watch, the real team that's gonna actually bring the Premier League a Champions League in 2 years. That team, team, I think that, yeah.
Is he
Wait. Hold on.
Who are you talking about?
Hold on, guys. To our listeners at home, we're struggling with ESCOM in South Africa. I mean, our listeners around the world. So I don't know if there was a connectivity problem. Lebone and Lehlokoe, did you just say on September 19th, 2022, that Man United are winning a UEFA Champions League in 2 seasons?
I did.
Oh,
yo. Okay.
Nah,
okay. So, okay, hold on, boys. Let's get some structure. So Bones, so hold on.
I'm gonna double down. I'm doubling down.
Okay, hold on, Lebone, hold on. So you're saying that your biggest takeaway from this weekend was Arsenal playing well, but the real team to watch in the Prem was unable to play, so nothing really sat with you.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Anything you want to add?
I don't
Anything I want to add?
Oh, you good? That's your takeaway.
No. That's my takeaway.
Okay, perfect. Yo, insanity. Anyways, I was gonna go to Tobi, but I don't think you can get 2 propaganda United takes in a row.
Skip to Rindai.
So Rindai, please. We'll come back to Tobi, but Rindai, please give us some sanity, bro. What was your takeaway?
I just want to start off with what Bones just said right now. I know you said this shouldn't be like a UN type podcast, but there's no need to lie, bro. Even you don't believe that, Bones. You don't believe that, bro. But
guys, 2 years.
Yeah.
But
you
okay. My biggest takeaway was definitely Madrid, best team in the world by a mile.
Okay.
I want anyone in the Champions League. Anyone. I want them early.
So okay. Let's just get a few comments from the game. What specifically was it the fact that you guys were doing it without Benz? Was it like the performance itself? What really has you feeling this gassed?
Nah, I just feel like we can adapt to any situation. You feel me?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who we're really playing. We've got the quality to, because we don't really create a lot of chances, but I know we're going to create chances. I know we're going to score. So yeah, that's what gives me confidence.
Bro, just to piggyback off of that, Ancelotti Madrid have always been mentality monsters. We know this, but there's something specific about Carlo Ancelotti when he's with Madrid. You guys are frighteningly you're scary, bro. The way you guys can win a game with 4 shots.
Yeah, literally.
It's insane, dude. Nah. So for those who don't know, Rindai is related to both Vinicius and Valverde. So obviously, I'm sure you're feeling a real level of vindication with Valverde's performances in the past 2 games. He's been superb, bro. What do you feel? what do you feel? We've had these conversations in the group, but what do you feel is the ceiling for a player like Valverde? Do you see him as like the way Madrid had like a BBC? Or what is it? It was Bale, Benzema, Cristiano. Do you feel like Valverde will ascend to that point of being like the big three in your team at some point?
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I feel like he'll be one of those. He'll be our most important player. Like he'll be one of those guys where like he needs to play, kind of like prime Casemiro. Like we still had Modric and Cruz, but like if Casemiro didn't play, like you'd notice that he's not on the field.
You'd feel it. Okay,
yeah.
Get you. Okay, no, thank you. Quick, concise, very sane, unlike Bones. Tobi,
Yo.
What is your biggest takeaway, my G?
For me, I would just say, what's his name? Nagelsmann's days are very, very numbered. They are numbered. I think Bayern Munich at the moment is just unbelievable. I think like four draws in a row. Sorry.
Yo, you guys are dicks, bro. You guys are
childish.
In a row. In a row. It's just like. It's just unbelievable, man. I just don't know what he's gonna do. Personally, I think he has to go. That's my opinion. Second thing is Moyes. I told you guys he's going. I also told you guys he's going. And what's that guy's name? The Nottingham Forest manager.
Cooper.
Those two, 18th and 19th, I think, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
West Ham and Nottingham Forest. So it's unbelievable. Those guys suck. But those are my biggest takeaways
from this weekend. Okay, no, I did catch the end of that Bayern game. It was very scary. It just looked very disjointed. You really wonder why Bayern signed some of the players they did.
Who would you say?
Man, the one that's making waves on social media is Zabitzer. And I think it was a very, very strange signing. I also think I saw tactically they're like moving Kimmich back to playing right back.
Yeah. And he was getting hacked. He got hacked. So then
he was pissed off.
He made a sub and took him back, put him back in his normal position after.
And for me, the biggest issue is that, when Mane didn't play badly, but he just wasn't the version of him we're used to.
Yeah.
But the first man off the bench is Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting in 2022, bro.
Bro, I forgot he existed. I won't lie.
Nah, he is truly one of the ghosts in the football world. But my takeaway from this weekend, I'd say the other than the obvious one with Arsenal is hello, can all you idiots that had something to say about Bournemouth please stand up? Because right now these guys are sitting 12th in the Prem, right? 1 point behind Liverpool. They have rided out results, and now I'm not here to become a Bournemouth stan, but you niggas that decided
it feels
to
like
fucking
it though.
Nah, because niggas were being silly, bro. Against Liverpool, Oaks said, you can't do Rindai. Actually, I'm gonna say Oaks. Rindai said, you can't.
But bro, the manager got fired for that.
Yeah,
Scotty Parker got fired because of a disagreement with finances. Anyways, I'm not a Bournemouth stan. I'm just saying that was a big
played a part for sure.
And new manager bounce, Malcom. New manager bounce. Don't forget, bro.
Okay, new manager bounce. Toby, who's the manager?
What's his name? John McGinn.
Hey, you had me.
Gary O'Neill is his name.
John McGinn. And the second one was Super Frank Lampard's Everton. Alex Iwobi is a very serious man, and I'm very happy he's getting his daps because he is performing well. Neil Maupay with an incredible goal. But lads, we're gonna try to get through 3 topics today. Let's start off with Rindai's statement about Madrid being the best team in the world. So for me, the obvious, competitor for that title is Man City. So I pose the question to you, Lebone: Madrid or Man City? Who would you say is the best team in the world right now?
I would say Madrid, just because they're able to grind out results in spite of not having their best player currently, which it's just like a contextual thing. If City were doing it without De Bruyne or maybe Haaland, then I could probably say the exact same thing, because I think at that level, the difference is so minimal. It just comes down to who shows up on the day. But yeah, I'd say Madrid right now have the slight edge just because of the overall kind of contribution that everyone's giving, because everyone's kind of having to put a bit more to make sure they get the results.
I see. So their adaptability is what's really making you feel like they have the edge over City.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Because
Bones.
Sorry. There's not always a real concise way of playing, but the players themselves just always know how to get it done, and they're proving it in spite of like having different players around them. So that's good. So I'd say Madrid. But City are very, very, very close behind.
Okay, no, beautiful. And Rindai, you obviously feel. Actually, let me get to Rindai last because he's contractually obligated to say Madrid. Khanya, this is interesting for you because you're obviously a Madrid fan, sympathizer, but you're also a very, I feel, objective person when it comes to like general things like this. So between the two, who would you say is the best team in the world right now?
I hate to say it, but I think Rindai might be right. There's for me, it's because Madrid have more ways of winning a game than City do. But I feel like I've lied in saying that like so early, because obviously Haaland's come in. They've tried very hard to integrate him. If Haaland doesn't score almost every chance right now, they kind of feel blunted. And
okay.
I think I criticized their window in selling Sterling and Jesus is that you end up in games where you're not really going to get the goals from anyone else like that. Grealish isn't going to score like 15 a season, right? Like in those games where Haaland's not performing, he's not going to do anything. Foden, and the jury's out on how productive he can really be. I think we've seen the best of Mahrez. Whereas Madrid have Benz, they have Vinicius, they have Rodrigo, they have Valverde, who I think is capable of around 10 a season. I just think that there's just a greater chance of a random player popping up and scoring that crucial goal for Madrid in any game than there is with City. They're too flat. They're too predictable. Alvarez maybe, but I don't know how big a role he's really going to have at this point.
I think I would posit that point is slightly different. I wouldn't look at it from the perspective of predictability or being flat, but being in a rigid system, because I agree with what you're saying that Madrid seemingly have more match winners. And I think it's indicative of Ancelotti's coaching style, right? Because I remember in his first tenure at Madrid, his first spell at Madrid, there'd be games where, Ronaldo wouldn't be doing it, Bale wouldn't be doing it, Benzema wouldn't be doing it. Then it's Di Maria or fucking Sami Khedira is having the game of his life. So I do think that's a good point, Khanya. I do think that Madrid seemingly have more match winners. So for you with City, it's specifically that you feel there's an over-reliance on Haaland or more specifically their one game plan to kind of dominate games the way City do.
Yeah.
Okay. And Tobi and Rindai, the way I want to pose the question for you, starting with Tobi, is in a one-off game, say a league game between City and Madrid, who's winning? Tobi.
I would go Man City. I probably think Man City are probably the best in the world right now. I don't know. I think this season specifically, as well as towards the end of last season, we saw a lot of City coming from behind, I would say. And
yes.
I don't know if that's something that they've been doing a lot in the past, has it? But I don't know. I think that I don't want to, but I think they've been in those situations where they have to learn how to grind and actually have to play in the way that they are losing. And they haven't always been in that position. So for me, I would say nowadays it has to be Man City, bro. But I'm not gonna lie, Rindai, don't get hacked. Your team is still hard, but I think in a situation now, for example, if Man City in the Champions League they're losing 2-0 to PSG, they would have not it's the same as being 3-0 down to a Prem team or whatever. But I think they'll have that they'll have that ability now to deal with that situation and be like, okay, shit, we've been in this situation lots of times. Let's grind. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Man City just based on that.
I like the way you made that point, because the change in players that Pep is recruiting. City have like kind of developed into mentality monsters. I
Yeah,
think
definitely.
they're now there's a in management there's a difference between getting the title and maintaining the title. And
Yeah, yeah.
something Ferguson showed us was to keep this league, you kind of need those dogs. You need those players, the Ferdinands, the Keanes, Gary Nevilles, Rooney's, that can kind of dig deep and get that extra level. So Man City in the past 18 months, you have seen that thing.
Yeah.
In players like Ruben Diaz, Erling Haaland, for example. But Rindai, you seem very confident, right? So obviously the answer for you is Madrid. So you said you want anyone in the Champions League. Do you feel you would beat Man City at every stage of the competition?
I think so, yeah, for sure. Like more so in like a 2-leg game, but like I feel like where we have the edge over them is in the midfield. Where we have the edge over every team, to be honest, because like we have too many options in our midfield, and like we're not a possession-based team. Like we don't keep a lot of possession, but I think that when we have the ball, we have the quality to keep the ball and create a chance. You get me? So obviously against City, they'll dominate possession or whatever. But I agree with what Khanya said too. Like if Haaland gets injured or whatever, I think City are quite wrapped up, bro. Because like Alvarez has not really proven. You get me? But like with us this season, we haven't played with also a second game without Benz, and like we've been performing. Rodrigo's on fire.
Shout out to
So yeah.
I think for me, I look at it slightly different. I'd say the reason why I'd be confident in Madrid in a game versus City is because I know we were kind of critical of the Rudiger signing, but I feel like the versatility it's brought to your back line, because I saw against, I don't know if it was this game or the game before, where Alaba just went left back, and all of a sudden you have three center backs that you can't play in behind against. You have three defenders of four. And Khanya, you've pointed out that Carvajal has been superb. So it's kind of like, I think that's the edge. I think Madrid's ability to grind things out, as well as Thibaut Courtois, who for the most part of a year hasn't put a foot wrong. I feel like the defensive how solid you guys are defensively would be the differentiating factor, because, okay, Man City are mentality monsters, we're developing that, but guys, why are you conceding 3 goals against Newcastle? Like, for me, that's nuts, But in terms of that,
do you think City have a better midfield than Madrid, though?
Yes, they do.
I think City have a better midfield than Madrid, but I think Madrid have got a more. I think when it comes, they heat in that question. I think when it comes to dominating a game, I view Madrid's midfield as a counter-punch midfield. So they're a team that I don't think you can dominate without conceding, like, either transition or, you know what I mean? Like, they've got counter-punch players, whether it's Modric, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, they can sustain pressure and expand. Whereas when it comes to dominating a game, I don't think you guys have the like, you're not poised enough to like control a game for 90 minutes. So I think City would win I think City would win the battle, but I see Madrid winning the war, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get you.
Because it's a bit of a counterpunch. I'm not sure if we still have Khanya. Khanya, you still there? Oh no, we've lost Khanya. I was gonna ask him, but I guess any disputes of what Rindai has said, or Bones? Do you feel it's a fair way to paint that matchup potentially between City and Madrid, because that could end up being the final of the Champions League?
Yeah, I mean, I would say at that stage it really just becomes like if we're talking about like Champions League specifically, I think the inherent ability to win that's been honed into these players, that Ancelotti also kind of instills into these guys, I think that gives them that edge, because they've been there, and they've been there very recently, but they've been getting there as well. And City have always kind of fallen short, and I think maybe even that bit of self-doubt that they have is something that Madrid are able to overcome, because they've constantly had to overcome it. I mean, that whole Champions League run last season, the knockout stage, that was crazy. That was literally the definition of like a team that just knows how to get the results and just get it done.
Yeah,
and it wasn't always pretty. It wasn't always nice, but that thing of having those big game players and those big game moments always being able to come through, and that the kind of confidence that Ancelotti gives those players to have those moments, to know that they can have those moments in the biggest moments. I think that's just always going to separate Madrid.
Sorry, hold on. Yeah, was that Rindai or Tobi that wanted to interject?
No, it was me. I just wanted to say something.
Yeah.
And like, I was thinking about this the other day too, because if you were to like think about it and ask people like who has the most pressure to win the Champions League, most people would probably say City, obviously, because they got Haaland too and they haven't won. But like, what people don't realize is that Madrid, we won 3 Champions Leagues in a row. You feel me? No team had even won it twice in a row. No, I'm being for real though. No team had won it twice in a row. So it's like we're expecting to win another one, bro. It's not like we haven't done it before. You get me?
I was gonna say
also, Tony Cruz is. I know I had slander for him last season, but I won't lie, that guy's special, bro.
Yeah, no, he's an Aryan man. But anyways, I was gonna say I feel Bones' point about it being entrenched in Madrid is very true, because Ancelotti's eyebrow, whatever's in that thing, guys, is incredible. And more so, bro, on a serious note, more so with City. Man City fans are they truly embody the club itself, because they still have an inferiority complex after winning 4 leagues in 5 years. I was speaking to a friend of mine on the TL. I won't drop his name. My guy was worried about playing Spurs. I said, dude, you're Man City. You're worried about Spurs. And that thing, Lebone, that you're talking about, that innate self-doubt in Man City, you see it in the fans and you can see it on the pitch. It's like their confidence is in what they've already achieved. That's why in the league, on the last day of the season, they can be chilled. But in a fucking game against Madrid where you're up by 2 in the last 10 minutes, niggas are stressing. So I think that matchup specifically is always going to favor Madrid because of the mental side of things. But please let's move on to the next topic here. We have Khanya back. Okay, so for those of our listeners, they don't know, but Tobi is actually British. So as a man that is a citizen of the United Kingdom, T-boy, I want to know, bro.
Yes, please.
Will this World Cup ever come home, bro? Because I'm sure you saw that 28-man squad that he announced.
Yeah.
And there are obviously a lot of different takes on think pieces on it. Obviously some people are saying we want to get different combinations, you want to try different people. But I think the most worrying thing for me is this guy had like 15 defenders.
Yeah.
So
that's
how are you feeling, bro? Do you think England are their own worst enemy when it comes to the World Cup? And international tournaments, period.
Yeah, period. For me, first things first, I have to say I'm Gareth Southgate out. That's the first thing I have to put out there. That's the second thing is when he picks players, I guess like Tyrone Mings, Cody, Jared Bow, like these players that are kind of below, not I want to say below they are below the top 6. I think it's more of like his way of saying, okay, guys, if you play well, you have a chance to actually make the squad and all that stuff. So I think it's like also a thing where he kind of has to do, not just put like Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal players, that's all. So players like, you have like Ward-Prowse as well in the squad. But for me, the Harry Maguire thing is, I don't know, I find it really difficult because it's that thing of where he plays very well for England, but obviously you can't use that as a way of now just picking him. So I think it is a thing of maybe Harry Maguire has some pictures on him or something like that. But I don't know because like it's very, very shocking that he continues to play or continues to pick these type of players as well as Mason Mount. Because like, how the hell is Mason Mount getting picked? But I don't know. So when you say, they weren't their own worst enemy, I say yes. And I say that is more down to the manager because I feel like by picking these players, he's kind of showing these other players, like, how is this fair? Like, how is Maguire starting ahead of me? Or how is he still getting picked ahead of me? So it creates more problems than it does, like, solutions. That's how I see it. That's how I see it personally.
And I think that's fair, man. You have fucking Maguire, when Ben White has been performing incredibly well for Arsenal for the past few years. And the most worrying thing for me is I think he had midfielders were Bellingham, Mount, Phillips, Rice, and Ward-Prowse.
Yes.
You look at the players, and I think those are some quality footballers, but it's the distribution of, I don't know. It's just it's weird to see. And you think back to 2006 where you had the squad, even that the golden era, but they said 4-4-2 and put Scholes playing left mid. When there were so many different variations you could have tried out. But Khanya, I want to ask you, there was the inclusion of Ivan Toney. It's always a bit weird with England when you have a striker like Harry Kane, because how are other strikers going to get a chance? But do you think Toney will have a big role to play? Because he's going to the World Cup. I'm pretty sure we can see that. Do you think Ivan Toney will have a significant role to play in this English team?
I mean, I'd say I want to say he will, but will anyone from England have a significant tournament if Southgate's the coach?
Nope.
It almost doesn't matter who goes. That they won't win. You know what the shortcomings are. You've got Mount going to the Madison still, which no one can really make sense of. For me, it is difficult to try see where Toney fits in, but I don't think England play the formation that maximizes their squad anyway. I don't think anyone is their best self in that team, not even Kane.
Yeah. So, what are you saying specifically to the five at the back?
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't look like the same version of Kane. They're not necessarily playing wingers that benefit from his play the same way Spurs do. So it's just like there's no point in anything they're doing anyway.
No, that is a great point. There just seems to be
Can I interject quickly? I just want to say, is it a thing of maybe we're being a little bit too harsh on Southgate? Do you think? Because when you look at what he's done, I guess it's not the worst.
Listen, what he's done has a ceiling, and it's imposed by him. The talent of the squad is greater than his coaching.
But the final of the Euros, is that not good enough? I guess.
But why do they keep falling short?
Well, Tobi, we should be asking you that, bro. You're the British man. Is it enough? Honestly, and also to ask you another question, Jadon Sancho, top 5 wingers in the league, excluded. What do you have to say about that? And Bones, I also want to get Bones' take here. MR10 excluded.
Well, we can also say Ben Chilwell chosen. Why? He's been injured for most of the season, has he not? How?
Okay, but he embodies Love Island, and that is at the heart. That is at the heart of the UK. But no, hold on, Bones. How do you feel about MR10, the Man United lads, just being excluded from all this?
It tells me that Southgate is. Well, okay, there's a bit of form, he's picking based on form, but also based on favorites towards whatever system that he has in mind.
Wait, sorry, I just wanted to interject.
Yes.
I think Rashford is injured though.
Yeah, Rashford's injured though. Rashford is injured.
He did put out that press release. Oh yeah, okay, thank you.
Actually, I just saw that on fantasy. He had 75%. So I was like, oh, okay, mate.
Okay. So it's just Sancho. So for Sancho, you feel it's more to do with favoritism than actually performance.
I think so. Favoritism and for whatever he wants in specific players in whatever. Because I feel like Sancho is a bit of a wild card, and he's also a player that is creative, but it's also dependent on other players. I feel like he's passive if you expect him to take the game by the neck. He needs runners. He needs people moving around who can calculate space and find pockets to either dribble into or to find other players in. So you need a bit of fluidity if you're going to play a Sancho.
And sorry, just to interject that, I think that's at the root of this problem with England. It's with the players you have, whether it's Reece James, because imagine it's Reece James and Sancho down the right, you then get that fluidity you're talking about. So I think that's, just to go back to Khanya's point, it's kind of like a misalignment with strategy and what you have at your disposal.
Yeah, and I think that does more show the inability rather than a poor decision making. I just don't know I don't think he knows how to actually get it done. Similar to how I think Ole had reached his ceiling at United. He'd taken them to many semi-finals, a Europa final, but he just couldn't get them over the top. And it's and I feel like it's also going to be a thing that Portugal experienced with Santos, because he also, I feel, has reached his ceiling, and the team is better than what it was when he actually won a trophy, but he seems to be regressing in some way, because the team seems to be regressing just in terms of how to play.
Nah, he's truly a criminal, Toby. Truly.
Wow. But so I think at this stage it is Southgate is their worst enemy if he doesn't actually. I don't think he knows what he's doing. So I actually don't know. I was about to say he's his worst enemy if he doesn't know what he's doing, but I don't think he knows what he's doing, or I don't think he knows how to get these guys going.
No. Truly, you make very valid points. He seems to have faith in Love Island because Grealish is there, and it just confuses the hell out of me. But to close this topic, I kind of want to go to Rindai, because of course Khanya is the creator of Raheem the Dream and all the hype that's around him. But Rindai, you've been very outspoken about, how happy you are with him at Chelsea and how he's been performing. So I kind of have this question to ask you. Do you feel, especially on the back end of that Euros, where Sterling was the standout player for England, do you feel England would do better making Sterling the focal point of the attack, in the sense of you play through him or play to his strengths as opposed to Kane?
Yeah, I definitely feel that way. Because I feel like, because England's midfield isn't that great, Kane sometimes has to play a more creative role for England. And I just feel like Sterling just has that in him, you feel me? And he's a winner. If you look at his stats. That's why I also stand for Sterling, because he's too disrespected for what he's done. You get me? Yeah. I think he's City's second or third top scorer ever, which is crazy.
It is insane. He is very underdapped. So you feel, given Kane's skills, the things he has at his disposal, England could actually focus at making Kane the creator and letting Sterling cook?
Yeah, I feel so, because Kane is mad, bro. His passing is crazy, his vision is crazy. So I feel like he could excel in that role. But I also think Sanchez should have been chosen, especially ahead of Grealish. I personally don't rate Grealish at all, and I just don't see what he's going to add to that England team, especially right now, to be honest.
Nah, truly, bro. But I think it was more an environmental selection, because he can share his hair gel and spray with Ben Chilwell. But
what do you all think of Madison being left out, eh?
Khanya?
You know how I feel. I'm furious, but
nah, that's a footballer, man. That's
at this footballer. At this point, I'm okay, because there's nothing exactly going to do with him anyway. So it's fine.
So in closing, just quickly tell me how far you feel England are getting at this at the World Cup. If this is the squad they move forward with, we'll obviously have a World Cup dedicated pod closer to the time. I think November 20 is when the World Cup starts. But let's just go around. Khanya, where do you see England getting if this is the squad they take?
Quarterfinals.
Tobi?
Quarters.
Rindai?
Quarters.
Bones?
Retweet.
I'm saying round of 16. I can see them getting out at the round of 16. Obviously, dependent on who they play. But England. RIP to that lady, I guess. And now the final topic. What is that?
Huh?
Okay. Okay. The final topic here is to do with a man I once called the Swiss Xabi Alonso. That bastard. Granit Xhaka. Redemption arc. This, many are saying on the TL, this was in this performance against Brentford, where I must admit he was phenomenal, was his redemption at Arsenal coming full circle. He was captain and probably man of the match of that performance. So I want to start off with our resident journalist, amongst other things, scouts. Khanya, how are you feeling about Granit Xhaka at Arsenal? Do you feel he still needs to be upgraded on? And what do you think the ceiling with this squad is with him as a starting player?
In a regular season, at best with Xhaka, we're making top 4 in this season where everyone else seems to have fallen off or otherwise handicapped themselves. He's enough, dude. He's enough. He's enough for this specific season. He's enough for us to make it. He is.
So, sorry, I just want to say quickly, when you said regular season, I thought you were talking NBA. I was about to, okay. Okay, so you're saying you feel there seems to be a bit of apprehension in, or, when you say that. Is it kind of like a resentful acceptance of the situation with Xhaka?
That is what it is. Like, I've had to come to accept that he does have his uses. And even though there's a lot of drawbacks to him, we know he's extremely immobile. Like I don't have to list them. We know what Xhaka is. We know who he is.
Yeah. No.
Truly, for whatever reason, he is a mainstay of the side, and right now he's one of our longest serving, if not the longest serving player besides Onene. And I understand it. I really do. Like, there is a lot that he offers our team, a lot of stability he has to him, and he helps. And also having the players we have beside him also help mask his deficiencies quite a lot. And he looks effective in this specific system. Like, if you maximize him as a player, in fact, the best way I can summarize this: on his day, Granit Xhaka is of great use to Arsenal.
No, that's fair. The way I coin it, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. I say Granit Xhaka is to this Arsenal team what Jordan Henderson was to the Liverpool team from 17 to 2021, up until Mane leaving. And that is a player who is clearly less technical as compared to his contemporaries, but who excels in the intangibles. As much as I hate that guy, and just watching the Arsenal doc, when a man gets a red card, he starts blaming Saka. I mean, he is shameless. But when you talk about a mentality monster, when you talk about a guy who clearly excels at leadership, his parents gave him the keys when he was younger than his big brother. You have a guy who is of use in this Arsenal team. So Rindai, as an Arsenal fan, do you feel that comparison holds up? Do you see him more as like a Henderson type guy in our team? Maybe not the best technically, but has a role to play.
Yeah, I do agree. I actually think he's better than Henderson, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's better than Henderson, but yeah, I agree with what you guys are saying. But Khanya said that when you said he's good for this season, what do you mean? Like, he's good for top 4?
Dog, you didn't hear me start at the episode. We're winning the league this year, mate.
Oh, so you're saying he's good?
Maybe not winning it. We're competing for the title. We are a title race.
So we can win the league with Xhaka as our midfielder, basically.
There's Samuel Lehlokoe there as well. Odegaard, Smith Rowe can contribute. We have a lot of options in terms of like what players who offer more than he does, and we're set to dominate more often than not. So yeah,
I'm enjoying seeing like his creative side, like the creative side to his game, because for Switzerland they both too, and he's not
a DM there. There's a reason.
Yeah, he's not a DM there, exactly.
No, but he's not a DM because they play 5 at the back there.
And it makes me think if Arteta was trying to maximize Xhaka when we first played that formation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but like, then he played more of wing back coverage player. Yeah,
but that's because Tierney became but still
our whole team. Tierney became our whole team.
Yeah.
Okay, and as Arsenal's number 1 hater, Tobi, do you believe? Like, are you frightened at seeing Xhaka play at this level, or do you think a leopard will never change its spots?
Nah, I told you guys long ago that Xhaka was much better than Naby Keita, and you guys laughed at me. I remember people saying, "Nah, never." So, like, I've always had this thought that he's a decent player. Like, as I think you said it perfectly, I think Henderson is like kind of the player that's most similar to him. Like, he'll do a good enough job for you guys to compete for the title, which is what I think some people are dreaming of. But I think it's like it is very like, in the sense that I think one thing is something that he's very much improved on is that his temperament. I would say, like, I feel like this season he's only got 2 yellow cards so far in like 7 games, which I don't know. I think compared
sorry, let me just interject there. North London derby is coming next week, sir. 2 weeks, don't worry.
Yeah,
you'll see the temperament.
the Old Trafford would be such like you would be doing the worst things, bro.
True.
I feel like,
you're right.
I know
You're
it's still early, but I feel like I don't know if that's down to Arteta or that's down to even Thomas Partey being there, but like I feel like he's learned how to relax a little bit more and just focus on playing football rather than just all the other stuff where he's trying to get people angry or getting angry. But I don't know. I think maybe only when he's with Partey will he be playing up to these levels, because that's another guy who's really lifted the Arsenal team to another level. But yeah, I think Xhaka, I'm not scared, but yeah, I think he's doing a good enough job.
For me, I think my issue with Xhaka has always been he's playing a position that midfielders consider to be an absolute luxury. There are two positions in the midfield three that are considered to be the most rewarding or the most indicative of a manager having faith in you, and that is an out and out cam and a third man running midfielder. And the reason for that is because the players around you kind of have to make up for the moments where you're going to be caught out of position. They may have to cover your runner, track your runner, make shifts for the spaces you leave to kind of, impact the game in other areas. So my issue with Xhaka is less about him being in that role. No, less about him as a player. Like, I don't think he's shit. I just don't think he's the best, all things considered. And more so to do with the fact that, like, he's playing a position that if we found the right player to play, we could transform as a fucking club. You look at someone like Bernardo Silva, who did that for City in that 18-19 season when he was out of this world, where he was kind of that third man runner doing everything, or even in a more recent rendition, Ilkay Gundogan last season, and his numbers were, the past 2 seasons really, his numbers have been through the roof. And the thing about a player doing that, you kind of need them to be doing what Xhaka is doing, but more. It's not just about one assist, 3 assists in 7 games. You need like 7, 8, 9, 10. You need to be breaking records. Pogba did it for United in 18-19, and he had 13 and 9 in the league. It's like, so that's for me. It's just, I feel we're wasting a really good opportunity on a player who, yes, is good, but I just like to see someone else do it. I don't hate him as much. I don't curse at him as the way I used to, but it is still frustrating to see. And I want to get Lebone's thoughts on just a more, I guess, theoretical question derived from this topic. Bro, do you feel it's necessary when do you feel it's the right time to upgrade on a player? Do you feel it's fair to sign a new player when the player who's currently playing a position is clearly doing well, but there's a limitation on how far they can go? So if I could just put this in the context of United, say Scott McTominay, who right now, for all intents and purposes, the past 3 games has been a great, great, great player. Past 2 games has been doing freaking well. There's no surprise that United are performing the way they're performing on the back end of him and Eriksen at the base. But do you feel, given the deficiencies we know exist in McTominay's game, i.e. not being able to turn, do you feel it's fair to replace that player?
That's a good question. Thanks for that. I think it is fair. And I think it goes into the aims of the club and the aspirations of the club. So, for example, we could have stayed with McTominay, but there you can see there's an effort, like a conscious effort to upgrade that position. And it's not to say that we need him gone. It's just that we need you in the team, but your role is bigger than what our ceiling demand. Okay, like his role is too big for where we need to be. And
I like the way you put that. Yeah.
So we need a different type of player, a better player to do those smaller things better, that enable the entire system to work better. But that doesn't mean that we don't need Scott at all, because in really, really good teams, as you see, for example, if you look at the midfields of Madrid and City, those are very deep midfields. City, Madrid particularly, they've got like 6 players that could easily walk into United's team right now. They have. You need that depth. You need that depth in not only quality but also in character, to kind of get teams to the top level. And we're cooking that, so we need him in the process. But his role is still much bigger than it should be. And that's why there is an effort to replace him. And I think Casemiro will come through when he has kind of gelled more within the system. I think that's the only reason he's not in, because maybe his fitness levels aren't quite what they need to be at the position for what Ten Hag has identified needs to be done in the system to make it work. And Scott probably has.
Interject there quickly to Lebone. So you don't think like at this time or this stage or modern era of football that you can't have players like John O'Shea or Darren Fletcher, like type players that aren't really up to that high level ceiling but can still do a very good job? Is that what you're trying to say? Or
Yeah, but I think they shouldn't be. I think, especially like when you like look at context of a specific league, like if you're playing against the City, you do need ball players. You can't just have these Fletchers and John O'Shea's that are going to give you gears and leadership and all the intelligence. No, you actually need technical ability as well. So you need a blend in modern football now, and and you know what Scott has in those intangibles, he can rub off onto the better technical player, and in the reverse, that the better technical player can rub off things on Scott, and that's what you need in big teams. That's why depth makes quality better, because you need to compete, you want to play, you want to contribute. So that's also what like getting better players is for. It motivates those players to get better. So even bringing a new player in, that might urge Scott to reach the next level. And actually even compete with that player and maybe make that player the understudy. You never really know. So I do think we do need a better player, but it's not a bad look on the player to say that at the current level you're not where we need to be, but you can get there. But we also need players who can help us and you like push the level higher.
No, honestly, and that's always been my take. Just relaying this back to Xhaka, because it's like he's clearly useful. For me, he's proven himself as an Arsenal squad player. He deserves to be in the squad, but there needs to be more to supplement that position. There needs to be more, as you say, incentive for him to grow as a player. My issue now is he kind of knows he's starting every week, and I don't trust him. I don't trust North London derby, lads. I'm telling you, it's coming. Maybe not at Emirates, but either at that whatever that toilet bowl stadium of theirs is at Tottenham or wherever. Xhaka is going to lose his head at some point, and he knows as soon as I come back from the suspension, I'm back in the team. That isn't healthy. I think the best example of what Lebone is talking about is at Man City. And if you guys recall, when Cancelo was signed, Kyle Walker was kind of on he wasn't necessarily playing bad, but he wasn't performing at the clip I think Pep wanted him to perform at. There was still a lot of holes in his game. He wasn't as complete. Cancelo comes in. All of a sudden, in my opinion, we see the best right back in modern football. By modern football, I mean the past 7-8 years. I feel Kyle Walker has consistently been. Who would you put ahead? So since 2015, Rindai, who would you pick ahead of Kyle Walker since 2015?
Carvajal.
There you go. Knew it.
Yeah,
dude. Guys, Carvajal is only coming back to life now. He's been gone for the past how many years?
2
years.
Yeah.
No, man. In terms of consistency, I'm not talking about.
But Carvajal shows up when it matters, bro. Like
no. That not in terms of peak performance. I can give you Carvajal. I'm talking about week in, week out for 7 years. Kyle Walker has barely put a foot wrong.
Definitely.
And I think that's, again, going back to Lebone's point, that's to do with competition within the squad. But all I'm saying is Granit Xhaka, you're a bastard, but you have my support for the time being. And to be honest, boys, that's us kind of getting through our topics for the day. I mean, for the episode. Just wanted to highlight a few dope international games coming up in this break as we are held hostage by this nonsense. We have got Brazil, Ghana, which I think will be quite exciting.
Oh yeah.
We've got Jordan against Syria, which will be exciting for different reasons. And guys, I hate international football. And Nations League, we have got England against Italy and Germany. So quick, before we do closing remarks, Khanya, you've been very outspoken about your belief in Hansi Flick. What are you looking for in that game against England? What are you going to be specifically focusing on with regard to Germany? And as you said, they're going to be a Final Four team at the World Cup. So, like, what are you hoping to see in this game against England?
Just more of the same. Like they just look like this relentless side. Like they overwhelm everyone they play. I think they're going to expose how poor England's midfield is.
Yep.
In an ideal world, but I also can acknowledge that it's entirely possible that England might just play on the counter and beat them 3-2. And I hope that if they do win that way, that people view it not as a reflection on Southgate being good, but more so that they every dog has its day, essentially.
Okay, no, fair. I just want to quickly say, he said more of the same. Germany have got 1 win in the past 5 games. Anyways,
look who they. You say 1 win. Look who they played and look at the score lines. It's 1-1 against England, 1-1 against Italy, 1-1 against the Netherlands. Yes, there's the weird draw against Hungary, but they beat Italy 5-2 in their most recent game. So
okay, no,
please,
bro, fair.
Please,
all I'm saying is a trend I've seen in our group is we are fighting for EU passports. ESCOM is terrorized us enough, and we're clearly repping.
Listen, Germany's not the I'm repping anyway. I'm repping Brazil.
You're a Brazil boy. Okay, no, calm.
Yes.
Just to get the stances right. I apologize. Anyways, closing remarks. We'll go to you, Khanya. Anything you want to say in closing?
I'll speak to you guys in May and I'll still lift the title. I can't wait.
My goodness.
Rindai?
Nah, just as a Madrid fan, business is booming, bro. Business is booming.
Are you on the payroll? Can I ask?
Right now we up, brother. Right now we all the way up.
I won't lie, Rindai. I thought you were gonna say baila Vini, baila. I thought you were gonna
baila Vini.
I thought you were gonna say Tobi, anything you want to give us, bro?
Yeah, not much. I just think we'll see what happens in the international football. And other than that, Juventus are in. That's all.
Yeah. We need to touch on that at some point, guys.
I think midweek we can do a debrief on Juve.
Yeah, like a whole episode just dedicated to Juve. Yeah.
Wow.
Bones, boy, anything?
I will say that, you know what? Arsenal may actually win it because Brazil are doing them favors by not picking their players and, picking guys
I like the back check.
You know,
that's good.
But yeah. It's I'll leave it at that.
Okay, no, beautiful. And in closing, I would just like to say Hong Kong versus Myanmar, Wednesday, 21st September, 8 a.m. my time. So I think that's 2 p.m. for you guys. That's going to be hot.
Square.
We have. I want to just point out 3 games, boys. Then we have Australia versus New Zealand. It's going to be hot there. And
is this rugby?
No, mate, this is football.
And
and finally,
rugby would be a good game, actually.
The biggest game, in my opinion, September 24th, Laos versus the Maldives. Oh, it's fuck international football. I won't even care. Fuck this thing. But that's been another episode of Debates Never Die. I hope you guys had a great time. We'll see you at the next one.
Peace.
Cheers.
Good morning, good afternoon.